Welcome to our webinar about our new extensive merge rules, which we created in the past month based on a lot of input from our customers. The agenda for today is a bit of introduction of those who do not know us. I assume there's a lot of existing clients in this call, but maybe also some people who are exploring options. Then Ruud will take over with a live demo on the new extensive merge rules, and afterwards there's room for Q&A. I see that people are already using the chat functionality for questions. So feel free to add any question there, and we will take and answer those as much as possible in the Q&A session. Will take approximately 30 to 45 minutes, and it will be recorded and available after the session as well. So let me start off with a short introduction of us. So my name is Peter. I'm over 5 years with the company and responsible for the commercial side of things. And on the right side, there is Ruud. And Ruud is the one who developed these new merge rules. So he's developer, and he can, as no other, explain what and why we did this. So that's us. Then for the company, Plauti Data Management, couple of slides before we get to the fireworks. We enable the Salesforce single source of truth. So that's our mission. So to make data quality easy and accessible for all users in the org, in any org. So we're in the market for over 10 years, have a lot of positive reviews, over 1,500 clients worldwide, and we're 100% native. We aim for data quality in deduping, formatting, and validating. Both batch-wise and ongoing data hygiene. So also on any entry point, you can use the validation or the deduplication functionalities. Our vision is to provide easy to use functionality, to have full control in finding and cleaning bad data and the prevention. And ultimately, you'd like to fully automate that. So fully automation of prevention and cleaning. It is fully flexible what we built with the Plauti Data Management, so it can integrate with any data source or custom processes. And since we're native, everything we do happens and stays in your Salesforce, so it's compliant to European worldwide laws, so it's safe. Because it resides completely in Salesforce. In the end, you want to deliver a flawless customer experience. We see if data quality increases, that the morale and the team spirit rises because people trust data again, and it's easier to work with. And your ultimate goal is to increase your Salesforce ROI. Now, the extensive merge rules is not expensive because it comes with the product. But let me explain a bit before Ruud takes over. The extensive merge rules, they are available in our premium and version of Duplicate Check and in our Plauti Data Management suite. So not in the lowest tier, which we call advanced. If we talk about merge logic, then it is, you can configure what logic to follow when you merge records within one object, and it could be within any object. In the merge process, and so we're not going to highlight that, but I'd like to highlight it here briefly. All related objects will be reparented to the master. So that's standard behavior. What we're about to show is about the logic on which record and which fields will be kept upon a merge. And it's crucial. So why is it important to have good merge logic? That is because if you're going to automate processes, you don't want to miss information. So it's especially on mass merging on jobs and direct processing upon automated entries. What we had was basic merge rules, still pretty robust, but not robust enough, and a lot of plugin possibilities. So with Apex plugins to customize it. So it always needed IT and admin to create that logic what you wanted. But we got a lot of input from our clients, so we made this extensive merge rules where the admin is in full control, even if it's and it doesn't require any coding. Of course, we still have the plugins available, so don't. IT could still be happy. So one of the processes is any entry source, so a bulk upload or web leads or manual entry, records come in. And as you know, or most customers know, we do never block. So all information comes in. Then you can detect based on scenarios if it is a duplicate. And if it is, it matches and it's shown on various places like DC job or DC live component. Ultimately, you can also fully automate that merge process if detected on by the scenario. And then the second part of that process is the actual deduplication. So what merge logic does that follow? So this merge logic, that's what we're talking about right now, number 2. Just to, one thing, so to clarify, make it very simple, you have 3 different Stanleys, in this case with a couple of campaigns, cases, attachments based on attached to it. Then based on the merge logic, we'll say, hey, this is the master record. And when you hit the merge, then this happens. So Stanley is the master and everything related to all the records will be reparented. Now, what happens in that merge? That's where Ruud will take over right now. So I will stop sharing and go on mute and give the floor to Ruud.
Yes, thank you, Peter. Let me just share my screen. All right. There we go. Thanks for the introduction. As Peter mentioned, my name is Ruud, and I, as part of the dev team that built the new merge rules. Merging duplicate records is an essential part of getting rid of duplicates and maintaining data quality. And with merge rules, you configure how you want to merge your records. So Duplicate Check for Salesforce has always offered a wide range of merge rules in our premium edition. However, over the years, we received great feedback from our customers, ranging from small businesses to enterprises. And based on this feedback, we have rebuilt the merge rules from the ground up and added a lot of new features to them. And now we're super proud to announce that we're putting the Salesforce admin in control. The majority of use cases that formerly required custom Apex code can now be configured using no code. So that means just configuration. We've added more granular configuration options to our merge rules, so admins can implement them without the need to develop, test, or deploy custom code. We've done that for you, resulting in less maintenance for you as a Salesforce admin. So join me and let's dive right into the demo. So let's step back here. How are the merge rules currently configured? 1 second, I lost my mouse there. All right, so currently we go to the DC setup, which is the Salesforce admin environment that we offer in Duplicate Check, and we select the object that we want to manage. I'll go for lead this time. On top, we see merge rules, which is what we open up. And the merge rules are separated in 2 sections. Basically, you have a master record rule, which is the default rule for all the fields in your object that will apply. I've set it to modified date most recent over here. And then you have your additional fields that can override the master record rule. For example, if I want to set something else for description, I can change that and then it will override.
I see a notice you need to share a screen. I don't know if you're sharing your screen right now.
It says I am.
Yes. Now there's a lot of bugs. Okay, thanks, guys.
So can you see my screen or not?
Yes, they can.
Okay, thanks. All right, so yeah, that is how merge rules work right now. And we basically copied that existing old interface and added new features to them. A big focus point of the new features is that we want to prevent the loss of important data, because usually when you merge multiple records together into one, some data will be lost. And that can be a problem for some type of data, which we offer options to maintain the data now. So let's get started with the first new feature. For multi-select picklist fields, we have added a way to combine all the values. So I have a field called interests, and I set it to the new feature combined values. Now let's move over to a record. This record duplicate check has found 2 duplicates, and we want to merge them together into one. So I open the merge modal, which is our interface for manual merging. As you can see, you see the master that has been selected here. It's blue, and on the left side there's the merge preview, which will be the values that will be kept in the record after the merge. So I'm not going to perform the merge. I'm just going to show the result of all the rules. And if we go to the interests field that I just changed to the new combined values for multi-select pick lists, you see that the first record was interested in web design service, while the third duplicate was interested in marketing services. And we have combined them into one. So they will be kept both. That is one of the new features. So now I'm not going to perform the merge. I'm going to go back to the setup and show you the next new feature. So for number fields, we introduced math rules, and that means that you can perform calculations on the values in your duplicate records. I'll show you using the revenue field. As you can see, we've added sum, average, multiply, and subtract. For annual revenue, I'll go for average. And moving back over to the duplicates, I'll reload the merge modal. And now, as you see, the annual revenue has averaged. So when we merge this record, the average of these two, 20,000 and 10,000, will be saved. Right. Let me just head back. We also have concatenate values, which is a new functionality for text fields. And what it does, it either keeps all values of all the duplicates that have been found, including the master and all its duplicates, or it only keeps the unique values. So it removes duplicate values within that field. So I'll go for all values over here. And I'll select a delimiter to separate these, because it will store all the values of all the records in just one field. That's the way this concatenation feature works. I'll separate them by a comma this time. We move back to the merge modal. And when I reload it, as you can see, the title field over here has been merged together. So both intelligence officer and super spy have been merged together, separated by a comma. As mentioned, you can use different separators, and you can also remove duplicates from that list. All right, the last feature that I'm going to show you in this part of the presentation is keep all values. Let me move over to the website field, and we're setting up keep all values. Keep all values is similar to concatenate that I just showed you, but it's just slightly different because the concatenate feature merged them all together into one field, and the keep all values does the same, but it keeps one winner. So that means the website field, because in this case I selected it for website, will have one value of the winner record based on a certain rule. And the other website from the duplicates, they will still be saved, but they will be saved in a different field that we set up right here in this modal, and it'll be a long text field. So the merge rule for deciding the value in the master record is the winner website that we want to select, and we pick the most recent modified date in this case. And then we store the additional values, so the other values of the duplicates, in a long text area. I created other websites for that. We keep all the values, so we don't remove the duplicates, and we separate them by a comma again. When going back to the merge model, we see that the other websites have been filled with example.com and example.de, and the master still has in the main field, it still has the website of the master record that has been selected. All right, that's it for the new field rules. We also added a completely new feature to the merge rules, which is field groups. And we're really happy to show you that because it opens up a new range of possibilities for both your IT as well as the Salesforce admin, especially the Salesforce admin, I should say. So what is a field group? A field group makes sure that a set of fields is always kept together during merge. That might make sense for a lot of different use cases, but I'm going to show you how to set it up for a name. All right, over here, in between the master record rule and the field section, you see field group, and we create a new one. Let's name it keep name fields together, and select the fields that belong to the name of this lead. So that's it. I created the field group, and they will use the master record rule. So when I reset it, it'll keep these together. Normally, duplicate check for Salesforce is configured to always select a non-empty field over an empty field. But in this case, if the master record would have been this one, it would not have done that. So it would have kept all 4 of them. This is a way to ensure that if a certain record gets selected, these fields will always be kept together. And you can use it in a wide variety of use cases. But there's much more that you can do with field groups. There's one thing that I want to show you. It's called divide values. What I'm going to do is I set up an email, a group with all the email fields that I have. So I add email to it, and I created 2 other email fields called alternate email and alternate email 2. So these both are added. I'm going to show you the divide values rule. So I created the group and I apply the divide values rule to it. This modal opens. This basically works the same as the concatenate that I showed before, so it will store the rest of it. But now let's move to the merge model and see the magic, because the cool stuff is it kept all the emails. So of the first record, the master, but also of the loser records that are duplicates that we will remove. These email addresses will not be removed because email got the field of the value of the master. Alternate email got the value of the second record, the loser, and alternate email 2 got the value of the third. And you can do it with as many fields as you like, as long as they're the same type, which help you saving email addresses that you don't want to lose, but it could also be very powerful for phone numbers, for example. All right, and the keep all values rule that I just showed you for fields, that's also available for groups and works in a similar way. So we can't wait to see what use cases you will build with the field groups. And because we personally really liked our new field groups, we started thinking during development, for some set of rules, it might always make sense to treat them as a group. And that is why the addresses are now grouped by default. And this results in way more accurate merges. You can leverage the power of our new field groups automatically for every address fields. So there's no more setting up and looking for all the fields that belong to an address, like city, street, and country. And also, there will be no more mistakes of accidentally merging two addresses into one. Let's say you have a valid address with a lacking postal code, and your duplicate has a postal code but a totally different address on the other side of the country, then that postal code won't be added to that completely valid address with the lacking postal code, because they are now groups and are kept together. Let me show you that. We go back to the setup. And as you can see, instead of the field street, city, and all of these, there's now just address. It's already a group. And one of the powerful group features that we can use, and we think it's especially powerful for addresses, is address that has the most fields populated. This means that when I select that rule and I reset the merge modal, it has selected all the fields that belong to the address and they're kept together like a group, but it's selected not just on the last update date or last created date, it's selected on the most fields populated, because we think that's likely to be the right address in this case. All right, that's it. That's the new features for the extensive merge rules in Duplicate Check and Plauti Data Management Suite. So we have combine values, we can concatenate values, we can keep all values, all rules focused on not losing any data. We have map values added to number fields. We can select the most common value. We have field groups, we have divide values, addresses are now groups as well, and we have the most populated fields that you can select for groups and addresses. Can be quite a lot to take in, so that's why we've made sure that you can start it right away. If you follow this link, we'll explain to you how you can enable it right now in your organization. On October 18, we will enable it by default in all organizations. And don't worry, your existing rules will still remain working, but of course you can leverage all the powerful new features that we have added. So that is it for the demo. Back to you, Peter.
Yes, thank you, Ruud, for providing this nice overview. And I tried to get a hold on all the questions that came along already. But now, let me just answer. There are a couple of questions coming in, came in all the time. So let me just start with the first one. I came in. Oh, I only see the open questions now. After merging, Bob asks, after merging a contact on an anonymous account remains that I have to delete manually. Is this normal behavior? Is there a setting that I'm missing? Thanks. This is more into detail.
I feel like that's not normal behavior, but I'm not entirely sure. So I think we have to get back on that one.
Okay. I don't know. And now I need to go all questions. I only see the ancient ones. I don't know what.
I see a question from Stephanie, which is nice. Maybe we can.
Yeah. Okay. Does the ability to keep multiple values apply to certain field types, such as multi-select pick lists, or does it always also work with pick lists, text fields, etc.?
It works for almost all field types. There are some exceptions, but it will work for email, phone, text fields, all sorts of fields. Yeah.
Okay. I wrote down one from Claire that said, okay, what if I concatenate values and the number of values are beyond what is allowed in that field? How do you cope with that? So let's say there's a case text field and it's not long text and
got it. Yeah. So currently we just got it at that point, but we recommend to use long text fields for these indeed, to make sure that there's space for everything.
So it's just a setting in Salesforce you need to on that field.
Yeah, we recommend to use long text fields for these, so that there's that can be set up in the Salesforce setup. Yeah.
Okay, Laura, and I saw this question before. Is this only on manual merge? Because you showed example on manual merge. So can we use these fields and groups rules for auto merging and probably also direct processing, so on prevention?
It's a good question. Thanks. Yes, I showed it in a manual merge to make it more visual, but it will work in all merge points that we offer. So it will work everywhere.
Okay, this is an interesting one, Ruud. What about cross-object address matching? How does that work with grouping such as lead to contact and records?
Depending on the rule that's selected, it will work the same as it used to work, except for the fact that they are now grouped. So once a winner has been determined based on the rule, the rest of the fields will be kept together. But there won't be a functional difference in cross-object or regular objects, I think.
Cross-object is converting and not merging, of course.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
So in that way, it will follow the logic on convert.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, also concatenation. Can you concatenate everything? I don't know why. I can only see the open questions. Do you need Clyde answers? What about cross-object address matching? How does it match with lead to contact? So he adds, so need for using formula fields. But it's about conversion, this, and not merging. So I don't know.
Yeah, indeed. So that is for DC convert, which follows different settings than the merge rules. The merge rules are just for merging duplicates of the same type.
There's another question. There is one who uses Apex plugins right now for creating some of this logic. Now, admin is in control, so they can create those rules. Will it conflict? Or so you have Apex logic in place, and now you can do in UI. So how will that work?
I think that's a good question. Yeah, so we would like to emphasize that your existing rules and also your existing Apex code and plugins will work, and they will remain working. So that when we do make the switch and upgrade to the new version, the old rules are taken over and will still work. Your old Apex plugins will still work. We only added the extra functionality, and you can use them at your own pace when you're ready. But of course, we do recommend moving away from custom Apex code if the functionality is in the new merge rules, because it saves you maintenance time.
Is there any other question? I have one, Ruud. I know it's in beta right now. I know it's in beta, so it is available for people.
Yeah.
But when will it be released?
October 18th, we will enable the setting automatically for everyone, and it will be out of beta. But as mentioned, your old rules will still work in the new version, so there's no action required. You can start setting up at your own pace, because I saw that question coming around as well. But October 18th, it will be available in every Salesforce org that uses the premium version of duplicate check.
Okay, cool. Is there any other question? So now is the time to ask. Now we have this guru in the room. So we are very happy we released this, and are very keen to learn what you did with it as well. So we tried to make it on the most granular level and make it as flexible as possible. But it would be great if we learn some common practices like mail, keepable mails, keepable emails, etc., or keepable phones. Those we come across a lot, but it would be nice to hear some good cases. You can drop it to support, or we have this nice section on the App Exchange for nice reviews as well. So if there is no other questions, I'd like to end with some next steps.
I think there are some more in the chat window, so not in the Q&A window, but in the chat window. Someone just pointed out.
Where is it? I forgot that. I had the wrong one open. Okay.
In the meantime, when you look at them, I'll answer the question from Stephanie. So she asked, when switching to the new rules, the documentation says that you can switch back to the old rules. Well, you can, but the changes that you make in the new rules won't be available in the old rules. So you can, if you enable them right now, you can still turn it off. And of course, there's always the possibility to use the export and import functionality in the DC setup to make a backup of the old rules if you would like.
So if you are on the premium edition or on our Plauti Data Management Suite, then on the left side, there is a direct article, go.plauti.com/merge rules, which will explain exactly on our knowledge base. So this is a quick link to our to the right article on our knowledge base. If you are interested and not using it right now, then so Duplicate, you can install, ask for a demo, plauti.com/demo. Any questions, operational support. And if you are on the advanced edition, we have a special offer, because normally if you can activate a trial, we can activate a trial for you on your complete data set as you have right now, because then you just reach out and we can activate premium edition where you can test these rules. If you'd like to just reach out to support, and we'll manage it via my team or support team. So thank you all for joining. There is no other questions anymore, I believe. And if it's there's one more, if there is, okay, it will be added automatically. And now you can activate it. Up to the 18th, you need to toggle one thing and then it's activated.
Yeah. I just saw one more question in the chat that I would like to answer. Someone asked, are we creating new metadata to store these new rules? Yes, yeah. For now we are we are keeping the old rules in the custom as object we use, and we store the new rules in custom settings. So there will be some new metadata, but it's important to mention that the data that we store as a managed package, as that's called, so a package from the App Exchange, does not count against your org's limits.
That's a nice takeaway for the end. So I thank you all for your time, and please test it out, work it out, save some time, and start automating your daily deduplication processes. So thank you.
Thanks, everyone.